Hi, and welcome to another TBR video. I am actually really excited about this one. I made a TBR video last month trying to sort of keep myself accountable and help me get out of the reading slum, and I am very happy to say that it actually really helped me. I have read all the books that I planned with the exception of one, but I am still reading it and I'm technically still on track to finish it by the end of the month. So I am incredibly excited for the next month. I have quite a selection of books. It's very optimistic. I have 10 books laying in front of me. It's not that many pages because they're mostly quite short books, but 10 is still quite the number, and there's very few fantasy and sci-fi books on the list, so it's mostly fiction, other fiction. There's mostly contemporary fiction, there's some historical fiction, there's some classics, which scare me. I used to love them, not so much anymore. So it's quite the variety. So let's get into it. And I will start with a book that I am currently reading that is on my April's TBR. Technically, I still have enough time to finish it. I have today and tomorrow to read it. Today is 29th of April, tomorrow is the 30th, and Friday is May already. I think I have enough time to finish it, but I am a little bit worried that I won't. Well, worried is quite the powerful word. I'm not worried, but there is a chance. So if I don't, it will overflow into May. But I think if I don't finish it in the next 2 days, then it at least won't be that many pages left. So I'm sure it won't be much of an issue. And the book that I'm talking about is The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I am having a lot of fun with it. It's a book that I have selected for my book club. I have a little bit less than a half left. I don't actually remember how many pages. I want to say about 200. I have most of today and the entirety of tomorrow, with the exception of my work hours. So I think I will be able to finish it, but in case I don't, I will put it on my main TBR and whatever pages I have left will be added to the list. And starting off in my May reading list is actually two classics. They're both selected by two different book clubs, and the first one is the book club that I'm a part of that I do not lead. Usually, that book club selects contemporary fiction, literary fiction, historical fiction, some thriller, mystery esque. We also do one classic per year. I don't remember which one was last year. I didn't go to that event, but this time I really want to go. I've been wanting to read this book for quite a while, though I'm not entirely sure I will enjoy it. It's been in my TBR for a very long time. I know the story, so it's not going to be much of a surprise to me. And the book that I'm talking about is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And I am, to be honest, a little bit maybe scared of getting back into classics. I used to read them a lot when I was a teenager. To be fair, I had to read them because I was in high school, but I also quite enjoyed reading them, though I think potentially for the wrong reasons. I thought they were making me look a lot smarter than I was. So I'm not entirely sure how I'll feel about this one. Like I said, it's been on my TBR for quite some time. I know the story. I don't know if I'm familiar with Oscar Wilde's writing. I don't remember if I've read anything by him. I think I maybe have attempted to start The Picture of Dorian Gray once or twice, though that would have been in translation to Russian. So I've never tried reading it in the original. I am quite excited. I think my expectation is that I will probably not enjoy it, which is not a bad expectation to have. I would rather expect to not enjoy a book and then go in and be either surprised or just prove that my expectation was right, then go in thinking that I'm going to love it and be disappointed when I don't. So, this is the first one on the list, and I'll see how I like it. And the next one is also a classic, and the one that I am actually really excited about, and it's the Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I have actually never read anything by Jane Austen. I've started Pride and Prejudice, I want to say a couple of times, potentially a couple of times in translation. I definitely tried reading it once in English, and I got to about halfway, and then I sort of lost interest a little bit. I also know that I've tried Sense and Sensibility a couple of times, definitely in translation, because I remember having that book on my shelves, but it just never really went right. But my friend loves Jane Austen, and she's a part of a Jane Austen book club, and they read a variation of Jane Austen originals, and then books that were either inspired by Jane Austen, are about Jane Austen, or are retellings of her stories. And I thought I would join in with a Jane Austen original. This isn't a long book. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it's about. I have heard that it's a gothic classic, so that's quite exciting. But yes, I'm definitely excited to give it a go, and that definitely won't mean that I won't try other Jane Austens if I don't like this one, but this will be my first attempt to finish a Jane Austen book. And then, obviously, if I enjoy it, I will continue with Jane Austen's writing. I have heard really only good things about it, so I'm quite excited. And the next one is the book that I have selected for my own book club. I lead a fantasy and sci fi book club, and I try to sort of mix and match. 1 month is sci fi, 1 month is fantasy. And the book that I've selected for the next month is There Is No Antimetrics Division by QNTM. I know nothing about this book. I have heard people say very mixed things about it. I think the general thought is that it's incredibly thought provoking, that it makes you kind of break your brain a little bit, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I am anticipating at least a very interesting discussion. Usually, fantasy and sci fi doesn't really spark that much of a discussion. I'm also selecting books that are generally well loved and have been in the genre for a while and have been loved by the genre followers. So, this one is probably the first one that hasn't been that well known or well read. It became popular relatively recently, hence why I'm holding a hardback. I think it was written first as sort of chapters being released on the internet or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure, but I am really excited. It's not a very long book, it is a sci fi. It's one that I have heard incredibly mixed things about, so I think it will spark a very interesting discussion in a book club, and hopefully I like it myself. And that is all book club books out of the way, and there's only one book that I sort of want to definitely read in May because I am going to an event with the author and I am incredibly excited and hyped for it. And the book in question is Isles of the Ember Dog by Brandon Sanderson. He will be hosting an event in London, or he'll be part of an event, author talk in London. He'll be hosted by Joe Abercrombie. I love them both. I love their both writing. I am really excited to be there for the event. I have been looking forward to attending an event with Brandon Sanderson for quite a while. The book is quite interesting. I don't really know much about it, to be honest. I know there is a Cosmere novel. I know there is a standalone. I don't think it's linked to any other books. And if I remember correctly, this is Cosmere in the future. So it's really exciting. This is also a gorgeous special edition. It has sprayed edges. Yes, I'm generally just really excited about this one, and it's the only fantasy that I have on the list for May, so I hope it's a good one. And moving on, I have a book that was released in April, and I went to the event with the authors of this book, and I was really excited for the event. And after listening to them talk and interact, I am incredibly excited about the book, even though it has not glowing reviews. And the book in question is The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark. It is a debut novel of a duet of V. Schwab and Kat Clark. They have been friends for a very long time. They've decided to write a book together. Kat Clark has actually departed from writing fiction. She's now a screenwriter. V. Schwab is a well known fantasy and sci fi writer. So I'm really excited to read this. It doesn't have the best reviews. It is a thriller and mystery, by the way. Kat Clark has written some thrillers and mysteries, from what I know. V. Schwab hasn't. I don't know if there's an element of maybe mystery and thriller in her fantasy. I'm not that familiar with her writing. But yeah, I really enjoyed the event. They're both incredibly charismatic. The chemistry between them is just unmatched. I have never seen anything like that. So I really want to give this book a go, even if it's not the best mystery thriller that exists out there. I'm not super familiar with the genre, so I don't really have many books to compare to. And I think I'm pretty easily pleased as far as mystery and thrillers go, so I can't imagine I'm going to have too many complaints. Hopefully not. But yes, I am incredibly excited for this book, and hopefully I like it. And I am particularly excited about the next book. It's a historical fiction that has been released in April, at the start of April. It's one that I was really excited about when I was doing the April's release video and when I was researching the upcoming releases for April. It's one that really caught my attention based on just the premise and the idea. And it's even more interesting because the rights to the movie have already been sold to Anne Hathaway. She's going to be the producer and she's also going to be starring in the movie, which is double exciting. I really like her. And the book that I'm talking about is Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. And it's a story of a tradwife who has been sent into the 19th century, I want to say, to sort of live the lifestyle that she's trying to replicate in the modern day, and how she fairs in that time. It sounds just really interesting. I think it's a very original, very fresh premise, though I know that there's quite a few books about tradwives out there. But this one particularly caught my attention. Really look forward to reading it. It's not a very long one. I think it's more of a historical fiction than anything else, and I think it's just about 400 pages, which is quite short for historical fiction. So, really looking forward to this one, and hopefully, I love it. And the next on my list is a nonfiction, the one that also been released in April, one that was one of my anticipated releases as well, and one that I have been to an event for as well. And the event didn't actually spark my desire to read the book, it's more so the fact that it's a nonfiction that is quite short and it sort of spans over different areas of history. And the book that I'm talking about is Talking Classics by Mary Beard. I've gone to an event. The event was quite interesting, though she did really lean into the subject of women in history and sexism and misogyny and how women were not represented in historical books for a very long time. So I don't know if that was my favorite subject of the talk. She seems like a very, very interesting person who's very passionate about the subject and passionate about different aspects of history and different aspects of researching history and documenting history. She's a professor in Cambridge University, and I live in Cambridge, or this time I live near Cambridge. But really excited about this book. Very, very short one, which you don't see a lot in history books and nonfiction history books. So hopefully it will be a nice gateway into reading history books. That's been something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Worst case scenario, if I don't like it, it's not that much of a waste of time because it's quite a short one. And I have three more books on a list, and all three of them are sort of from the same, I guess, category or the same reason that sparked my desire to read them. I have been wanting to do reading vlogs, and I've been saying on this channel that I will do reading vlogs for ages and ages and ages, and I still haven't. And something that you will learn about me if you keep watching my videos is that sometimes I make promises that I don't keep, or sometimes I have projects in my mind that never come to life. And making vlogs has been one of them. So this is my time to do it again. It will be sort of a TBR challenge kind of style of video, but I thought that I would sort of theme my TBR challenge videos in some shape or form. So I'm excited to read the books of the same, I don't know, author, genre, idea, anything that kind of binds them together, because I don't really want to do a TBR job and I just pluck out the number and then I have to read the book. So the books that I've selected for my first vlog or for my first TBR challenge are the books that have been shortlisted for the Women's Prize Award of 2026. There's 6 books that have been shortlisted. I'm sure you can find the list online. I own 3 of them, and I have owned them for not quite a while, but a little bit. They've been on my shelf already before I saw the shortlist announced. I don't know who's going to win. I have absolutely no expectations. I haven't read any of the 6 books, but I have had wonderful things about 2 of these. And the third one is a bit of a wild card, so who knows. The first one on the list is Heart the Lover by Lily King. I don't know anything about this except that I haven't heard a single bad review. It's a pretty short book. It's a literary fiction, and it's, I think, based on the reviews, will make me weep and cry and be absolutely miserable at the end of it, which I do quite look forward to. I like being emotional when I read books, so this is sort of a perfect combination of all the things to look forward to. The people that have reviewed this that I follow have liked the book, so I have all the reasons to believe that I will as well. So this is the first one of the 3. And the next on the list is the book that I've also heard good things about. Again, I don't really know what I'm getting myself into, but I haven't seen any bad reviews. I think it was one of the Goodreads nominees for, I don't remember which category. I want to say maybe a debut. Not entirely sure, don't want to lie to you. But the book that I'm talking about is The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. I'm really excited. I think it's the book about books or the book about letter writing, something along those lines. I think letter writing. I don't really want to read the synopsis. I do love going in books blind. This is also a very short one, so, and I think it's quite a heartwarming, nice story from what I've gathered based on the reviews. So I think I will thoroughly enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. And the last book on my list for me, TBI, is the one that I don't actually know a whole lot about, except that it's been nominated for the Booker Prize. It's been shortlisted for Booker Prize 2025. It's been shortlisted for Women's Prize 2026. So I have fairly, I guess, high expectations for the quality, though I don't really know if I'm going to be drawn to the story that much. I think when I read the synopsis ages ago, when I saw that it was shortlisted for Booker, I thought that I might enjoy it, but might enjoy it with a bit of caveat that I don't think I will have fun reading it, but I think I will enjoy it once I have read it. I don't know if you can relate to that. I do sometimes have that with books. But the book that I'm talking about is Flashlight by Susan Choi. I hope I'm not butchering the name. Like I said, I don't remember the premise, I don't remember the synopsis. I'm interested in it because it's been shortlisted for 2 awards. I don't know if it will win the Women's Prize. I think the Women's Prize is announced somewhere in the middle of May, maybe. I might be wrong with that one. I don't know if I will spoil the winner for myself or maybe choose to read the 3 books that I have on my list first and then maybe pick a winner out of the 3 for myself and then see which book won. I don't know which one is the better way. I think the award winners sort of set my expectations fairly high, so I don't really want to go into either of the 3 expecting something spectacular. I would rather go in with slightly lower expectations, but I will probably somehow spoil the winner for myself anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm excited to read Flashlight. I will see if I like it or not. It's a bit of a longer one. I think it's about 400 pages, which is not that long, but with the TBR that I've selected for May, it's actually one of the longest books, if not the longest. I actually think it's the longest, so a little bit intimidating, but I'm sure I will get on with it. So that is it. That is my list for May. 10 books, or to be fair, 11 if you count Jung-Wen, which is the most optimistic TBR I've had in a long time. But they're all relatively short. I also sort of still am trying to get out of my reading slum, though if you look at my April reading stats, it doesn't really look like I'm in a slum at all. But May is sort of a continuation of getting back into reading, and I think short books that are quick and easy to finish are probably the best way to get out of any reading slump, though I don't know if classics fit into that genre too well, but we'll see how I get on. I hope I will like all of the books on my list. If not, I hope I have interesting thoughts and interesting reviews. I'm sure I will film some sort of a May wrap up, but please let me know if you have read any of these, if you have loved any of these, if you have hated any of these. Let me know in the comments down below, and please like this video and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.